Chapter 6, Example 2. Determine the correlation for the association between runs scored and baseball attendance. Now, I've provided you with the data set for these examples. So on example 2, I'll walk you through how to use the calculator to create a scatter plot. You'll always be able to use technology in this class and on the AP exam, so I'm not going to expect you to do this by hand. Use your technology. To do this, I'll provide you with the data, but I'll run it through as though I didn't have that for you to begin with. So we would start from the home screen. We would do a new document, and we're going to do a list in spreadsheets page. If you notice in each column it says A, B, C, D, we're going to start with column A, and at the very top we need to put a name for our data. So we're going to put total runs in column A, so I would just type total runs up in that spot. And then I'm going to skip the next box, the one with the equal signs, and I'm going to type in all my data in column A for total runs. We'll type all 14 of those points in. Now in column B, I need to put my second variable, which is attendance. So up at the top for column B, in that very top box, I'm going to put attendance. I'm going to go down to cell B1, and I'm going to type in all the attendance rates. Now you need to make sure they match up. If we had a total runs for 500, it needs to match up with the attendance for 500. So those points are all linked together. Now that we have all that in, make sure you hit enter on the last cell or you'll get an error. Sometimes we type the number in but don't hit enter, and the calculator doesn't know there's a value there. So we're going to do a new page. The easiest way to do that is press Ctrl-I. And now you're going to do a data and statistics page. And when you do that, it should pop all the points in there randomly. And you'll have a spot at the bottom that says click to add variable, and on the left side that says click to add variable. So since we want total runs to predict attendance, we're going to put total runs at the bottom. So I click on there, and it should pop up all the variables we have listed. We're going to pick total runs. And as you notice now, the data is not all randomly spread around. You have a dot plot at the bottom. On the left, where it says click to add variable, we're going to click that and put attendance in there. And now, voila, there is your scatter plot. Okay, so we have the scatter plot. Let's go ahead and analyze it using DUFs: direction, unusual, form, and strength. The relationship between total runs and annual baseball attendance has a moderately strong positive linear association. There are two possible outliers, the value at 680 runs and attendance of about 38,000, but that is not very influential, and the value of about 510 runs and about 27,000 in attendance, which would be influential, maybe outliers. It appears that as runs scored increase, attendance increases. I will use the correlation with caution because of the possible outliers. Now that we have done that and we said we're going to go ahead and proceed, but caution because the outliers could be a problem, I'm going to use the calculator to find that correlation. So we're going to go to insert a new page, Control, Document, and we're going to do a calculator page. We're going to press Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations, and we want to pick linear regression. There's two options for linear regression. We're going to pick the y equals a plus bx. That's what we'll always use for linear regression from here on. We're not going to use your y equals mx plus b. So choose number 4. Now it's going to say x and y variables. We already know those because we set them up in the scatter plot. So x variable, total runs. Y variable, attendance. We don't need to change any of that other stuff. Just hit OK. So it gives us all this value, the A, the B, some other things in R squared. We'll talk about that later. But our correlation is the R. So R equals, that value is our correlation, which is always a number between 0 and 1, and it tells us how well a line fits the data. So in this case, the correlation R is 0.5381, which kind of lines up with us saying that it was a moderate strength to the line. Now we can remove what we think are those outliers and see how that changes the correlation if we would like as well.